What's up, Mavericks? Erica Sepala from Merchant Maverick here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up Xero in just a few minutes so you can start tracking your finances without the headaches. Whether you're brand new to accounting software or switching over from something else, this setup is quicker and easier than you might think. So we're going to get started on the main Xero website. You're just going to go in, you're going to go and compare the plans and pricing and determine which plan works for you. You also have the option to get a month free, but once you figure out what you want, you're going to go in and you're going to click and you're going to sign up. You're just going to fill in what country you operate in, first name, last name, email, phone number, and then agree to the terms of use, and then you're going to continue to the next step. So for this walkthrough, I signed up for a Xero trial, and once I did that, it sent me an email. I had to confirm my email address, and once I clicked on that link and set up my password, this is the next step. We're going to add our business. So it's going to ask for your business name, your industry. If you just start typing into industry, it'll pull up some options. And there's also a list. If you can't find your industry, you're going to set your country. You're going to select your business type from the drop down. So you have everything from sole proprietor to C corporations and partnerships. You need to answer yes or no if you have employees and what accounting tool you currently use. So there's other FreshBooks, QuickBooks, none, manual methods, and I just selected spreadsheets. So once I click on finish doing all of that, I'm going to click on start trial, and it is now setting up our business. So now we're still in onboarding, and it's just going to ask us a couple of quick questions. So it says, ask us, how do we currently manage accounting tasks? So either you use an accountant or a bookkeeper, or you manage it by yourself. We're going to say by ourselves, and then we're going to click next. Do you use other software or apps to run your business? And this is so that you can find integration so that they can all be connected in the Xero App Store. So we'll just say yes, that we do. It lists some common apps here, Square, Gusto, Etsy, things like that. We're just going to put I use other apps. And then it asks what we would like to do in Xero, so you can track cash flow, send invoices and get paid, connect your apps, manage and pay bills, claim expenses, pay yourself or staff, or other. So we'll say track cash flow, send invoices, manage and pay bills, and we'll just leave it there. And then we're going to click next, and it says, what do we want to do first? So you can track cash flow. That's recommended. That will be importing your bank transactions. You can send invoices and get paid, or you can manage and pay bills. So we're going to go in to track cash flow. And now we're going to click get started, and it's going to get everything set up for us. So because we put that we first wanted to go in and we wanted to add our bank transactions, it has brought us to this screen where we can add our bank account. So we can either use the search box to find our bank, our credit card, or our other payment provider, or there's some popular options down here. So all you're going to do is you're going to find your bank or your credit card. You're going to click on that, and then it's going to pull in a screen. So you either have the option to continue without a bank feed or continue and log into bank. So you've probably done this before. This is all very secure. You're going to go in, you're going to log into your bank account, and that's going to allow Xero to pull in all of your transactions automatically. We are not going to do that, but this is what you would do. You would also be able to have the ability to go in if you work with multiple banks or you have different credit cards, that you could go in and you could add all of those, but we're actually not going to add that right now. So one thing that I really like about Xero is that not only is it just easy to use, but it also provides guidance. So what you can see at the top of my screen now, that we have this setup guide, you can click on any of these cards and you can go through this. So the Welcome to Xero lets you find an accountant near you, or you can migrate your data to Xero. So if you're using QuickBooks, FreshBooks, something else, you can migrate your data over. You can also go in and you can configure your initial settings. So you can add details about your organization. You can add accounting information, so you can set up a chart of accounts, opening balances, and things like that. So I'm just going to click on Add Organization Details. And this will allow us to go in and do things like upload our logo, which I will go ahead and do now because we're going to need that for invoices, our display name, our legal name, industry, business structure, our business registration number, or our EIN or SSN, and a description of our organization. We also have contact information that we can go in and we can put in here. I'm actually not going to search because I usually just make up things for these walkthroughs. So we're just going to go through. We're going to quickly fill this out, but our physical address is the same. We can do telephone, email, website, different phone numbers, our social media profiles, things like that. We're going to keep it very basic, and we're just going to add our address. And then we're going to go in, any information that you make, we're going in and we're going to click save. So we're going to now return back home. We can go back into here if we wanted to add the accounting information. So again, we could set up our chart of account, opening balance, anything like that. We have the financial settings, and everything, as you can see, is really detailed and just let you know exactly what it is. So under financial settings, we can update financial year end, tax settings, lock dates, and time zone. We can manage the different currencies that we use. We can go in and we can manage our chart of accounts. It creates a chart of accounts for you, but you can go in and you can add accounts. You can add bank accounts. You can import, you can export, you can go in here and change that to whatever you want it to be. So we're going to just go back home. We're not going to really mess with that. As you can see, there's a pop-up here. So now there's Jax, an AI assistant. So this can help you set up, automate tasks, create and send invoices, and get clear business insights. This is a newer feature. It's really cool. We're not going to use that right now. I'm just going to show you the old school manual way to do it. But if you're setting up your account and you have any questions, or you want to do something that maybe I don't show here or that you can't find anywhere else online, you can use that virtual assistant. But we're just going to close that out for now. You can go in here and you can set up tracking categories. So if you want to see how different categories in your business are performing, conversion balances, that's updating the opening balances of your accounts. You can go in and set up your auto sales tax settings, your manual tax rates, registered states, add custom contact links, and then there's some project management stuff. We're not going to go on to all of that because that's just going to make this video much longer than it needs to be. But I am just kind of showing you what you can go in here and do under these settings. So we're going to go back. And then we have the option up here again that we can connect our bank because we didn't connect our bank. If you click on that, that's just going to allow you to add your bank account. And then once you have your bank connected, you can automatically import transactions and then reconcile those transactions. But again, we're not going to go into that. This is just a high-level overview of how to get everything set up. The next thing that you want to do is set up invoices. So we're going to click on Send Invoices. We can go right here to the top option and set up the invoice template. We have our logo. We already added that. Now, if we hadn't added that already, you do have the option that you can go in here and add that logo. We can sit here and adjust the sizing of that. We can go in here and edit our address if we want. We can select how we're going to get paid, so credit and debit card payments, and that is powered by Stripe. So if you do click that option and you don't already have Stripe, you will have to save this option and go in and set up Stripe. And I think we have a video for that, so make sure to check that out. So we're just going to save this invoice. Then it gives you other options. You can go in and set up auto sales tax. We're just going to click on that and see what that looks like. And it's just, we have our address, our country. We're going to go in and we're going to agree to these service terms, and it's setting up our tax details. So there was actually an error when I did that. I didn't fill out everything properly because, again, just using made up addresses and things like that. But that's what you're going to do just to automatically set up sales tax rates. We can create and send an invoice. Once we have our template set up, we can add an online payment service as well if you want your customers to be able to pay you directly from the invoice. And we're not going to do that. We can also manage and pay our bills, so we can track and pay what we owe. So we can set up our bill payments. We can add a payment method, and then we can start uploading our bills. So if you want to use this for your utility bills, your mortgage payments, whatever you have for your business, you can go in here and you can set all of that up. And we're going to scroll over. You can access support resources. So this is articles, guides, and courses. Xero provides a lot of information. They also have that AI assistant, which is really helpful. They actually didn't have that the last time I went in here. So there's a lot of resources to help you get through this. But as you can see, everything is really straightforward. It's labeled really well. It's explained really well. Really difficult to get lost in here. I mean, sometimes you might want to do something that's not so standard, and that may be a little hard to find, but they offer enough support resources that you can easily find it. And then we can go in and we can connect apps. So as Xero mentioned earlier, it has an app store. You can go in there and you can connect all of your other business apps and software so it all works together. So I'll just go in and to give you an idea of what you're going to find in the Xero app store. You can go in, you can obviously just straight search for whatever app you're looking for. You can go in and you can put in what kind of industry you're in. So if you're in the retail industry, you can just type retail in and it will give us all kinds of retail apps. So we have Lightspeed, Square, Hike, things like that. You can also go back and there's popular app categories, and then they have the top apps. So they have everything you would expect: Stripe, Square, ProjectWorks, all kinds of things. There are a lot of apps here. So you are able to sync your Xero account directly with these apps that you're already using in your business. Then we have additional features, so you can invite new users to your organization or get the Xero accounting app so you can create and send invoices, see your cash flow, reconcile transactions on the go. And once you go through these, you're going to see some of these that I already completed. They're marked completed. Now, if you don't want to go through and complete everything, or you don't want to use this at all, you can just sit here and hide that. And it just folds away for you. So then next you have your business overview, and we're going to preview with example data because it looks really kind of plain right there. So once we toggle that on with example data, it's going to show us everything that we need to know at a glance about our finances. So we have our everyday savings account here. It has our statement balance and the balance in Xero. It has a bunch of tasks here. So we have 20 items to reconcile: overdue invoices, invoices that are awaiting approval, and overdue bills. We have the data for the invoices that are owed to us, and then we have the data for the bills that we need to pay. You can scroll on down. There's recent invoice payments just broken down here: cash in and out, net profit or loss, and our expenses to review. Now, if you do not like how this is set up, you can go right here to the right. You can click on Edit Homepage, and so you can customize this in any way that you want. How you customize it is just going to really be based on what information is most important to you, and you want to just create this homepage so that it's just easy to navigate and you just feel comfortable here. So you have the option right here to add widgets. You can also hide widgets. So for example, if we did not want to show tasks, we would toggle that off. You might have seen at the bottom left corner that disappeared. Now we do have the option to turn it back on. It has, however, moved it. So you can go in here and you can toggle things off and on. We have a chart of accounts watch list, tax that have not been added. So you can go on there and you can add those and remove if you want. So you do have also the option if you want to reorder things. It's just a simple drag and drop. So if we wanted to move this here, we could move that here. And you can just move things around. And again, you can toggle things off and on if you don't want to see these. So once we have it set up the way that we want, we're just going to click done, and our home page is now the way that we set it up. You do also have the option to go in here again and edit the home page if you don't like what's going on. So if you want to first go in and kind of mess around, but you don't want to mess with your data, you do have the option. If you go up to the top left corner and click on this drop down that has your organization's name and go to demo company, and you now have a demo company that you can work with. So you can go in here and you can, for example, go on here, and where it says we need to reconcile 29 items, we can go in here, we can click on that, and we can go in here and mess around with reconciliation and really learn the system without messing with our own data. So that's a really cool feature. Again, that's just right there in that drop down menu. I highly recommend especially if you're not comfortable with using accounting software, to just use that demo company and go in here and learn all of the features and everything like that before you plug in your own information and start messing with it. So that's pretty much it. That's a very high level overview of how to officially get set up in Xero and start to manage your business's finances. Now, of course, I didn't go too deep in setting up taxes, adding users, and things like that, but the guided setup at the top and the AI assistant can help you get through all of that as you go through it. But I highly recommend using those guided setup cards because it gives you different checklists and reminds you of things that you might want to do with your account. So I highly recommend just going through that and performing every task that's applicable to your business. So now you'll be able to start sending invoices, tracking expenses, and actually seeing where your money is going. If you found this helpful, be sure to check out our full Xero review and other tutorials at Merchant Maverick. Thanks for watching, Mavericks, and I'll see you in the next video.